Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thanks for stopping by. Our dedicated team will guide you through with the latest updates and theories at Starbase, Texas. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for future streams.
9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Zack Golden, and welcome to another Starbase Weekly live stream. Happy to be here with y'all this week. It's my first stream of the year, so happy New Year to all of you. Got a lot to cover this week, and we will have Alex and Todd joining us this week, so thanks for being here, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What?
It'll be fun. The tongue twisters.
Gotcha. Yeah, and we do have Matt handling questions and donations for us today, so thanks for doing that while running the stream, Matt. Appreciate you.
My pleasure. Happy to get this bad boy started.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know there is some NFL games on today, so I know that a lot of you would maybe rather be watching that, so appreciate you for being here with us, even though there is other things going on. It's kind of difficult to control the timing of the show. We're usually dependent on the days that the flyovers happen. So, if not for that, we would probably try to move it to a different day, but here we are. Anyways, we will go ahead and start off where we always do, over at the Massey's test site, where, we still have this mystery structure over here, which is continuing to be a mystery at the moment. And looks like it's a lot closer to being completed right now. They have finished the actual superstructure and placed the whatever service platform on top. We don't fully know its purpose yet, but definitely have a few more clues this week. What do you, Todd? Were you last night in show and tell there for some of that speculation?
Yeah, I was. I think we spent almost an hour on the flame trench alone trying to figure this out. I'm pretty sure we got absolutely nowhere with it. Very confused. One thing that really confused some of us was if you look down at the QD, they've got some green pipes. It looks like possibly hydraulic lines going into the top of the QD, actually behind the QD. That was definitely some questions for us. But the entire structure itself, we just danced around for an hour trying to figure this thing out.
Those are high pressure lines.
Now, is that controlling the valve?
It's the COPVs fill any of the high pressure storage when they're fueling the vehicle.
See, they go right there, right there. That looks like it goes into one of the bigger lines.
I think there might be a manifold there, or they're just sitting there because that lid doesn't really look like it has any outlets on it.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. They basically, had all of the larger flex hoses and whatnot installed. Now they're moving on to all of these smaller high pressure gas lines. So, weird that they're going with these like hoses on this side versus the stainless steel ones. So that kind of, to me, kind of looks like a sign that they're like testing something instead of the actual. Like
if we look at the SQD extension, they did a similar thing. There's like 4 lines feeding it that are different on the high pressure side.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll do some comparisons on that when we get over to the launch site. Actually, I guess we could do it now. We might as well. So we're looking at basically the same thing in 2 places.
Yeah, it looks like those could be hydraulic actually, just by the flange mating.
Yeah. If you look at the guy I guess it'd be the left of the QD, he's got one in his hand, and it looks like it's got a 90-degree turn right there, and that to me screams hydraulic fittings.
Yeah, it's one's in back where you see the 4 of them coming up at 90s. They look like those are those square flanges with those quick connects.
Yep.
So you're saying this is the same as what they did on the for the QD on the integration tower. So we're gonna skip around a little bit just so we can kind of do some comparisons on these. They actually did get the QD extension installed this week. Do we have any like close-ups of it? I don't know if I do. This might be about I don't see any like top-down ones.
Yeah,
I don't know if we do have any that are looking straight onto it. Of course, I'm scrolling through these super quick, but
I'm going through the batch too. I'm not seeing straight down.
Okay. Well, we may not be able to do a direct comparison on that right now in that case. But yeah, I guess while we're here, they did install this extension onto the tower this week. So that was kind of one of the last major components that we were waiting on as far as the tower is concerned. But, they still got to connect all of this stuff. Anyways, we'll come back to that when we get to the launch site since we're not able to do an actual comparison there. But yeah, it's nice that they're getting all of this stuff ready. I mean, the static fire stand it seems like it's ahead of everything else, other than perhaps the launch tower. They are nearing ready for I think they're like nearly ready for that static fire test. I mean, obviously, whatever is going on with this frame is coming first, it seems like. But they're farther ahead on this than they are on the cryo station, which we'll see in a little bit. But we did have some there was a render I wanted to show because there is a component down here that seems to be related to this whole service structure or whatever. So these rails down here, which were previously used for testing the catch points on, I forget which booster test tank it was. But so these basically mounted onto the side underneath the catch points. And so here is actually a render that kind of from Chrome Kiwi that kind of shows what that looks like. So when they did this actual test on the test tank, it wasn't a nose cone up here. It was like a regular like forward section. And so they actually had beams across the top of it suspending this. And that's kind of one of the things that's, I guess, missing in this situation is something to actually hold these up. But we are assuming that obviously with these being here and what they were used for previously, that it's probably related to this structure. But I guess the question of why is still unanswered. We do see that they've added some, I think these are hydraulic lines.
They look like there's a solenoid there, so yeah.
Yeah. And then we have some other components down here, which also have possibly actuators right here.
I think it's hydraulic lines also with a valve assembly.
Yeah, so two of these, which kind of assuming that these probably get mounted onto that service structure somehow because with them both being black, usually that's kind of like one of the ways we figure out where things go just off of the color of it. And so with this service structure being that same color, likely that it's going to be mounted up here, possibly on these smaller brackets up here. But yeah, I mean, nothing has made sense to me as far as the actual overall purpose of this. Basically from day one, and that really kind of has to do with more of just where it aligns with everything. Like I don't understand what you even doing a squeeze test like this, why it would necessarily need to be done on the static fire stand. I guess one thing that they will be doing, I guess, is firing the engines while the arms are closing on the vehicle. And I think that was part of the point when they did this initially with the booster test article was to basically squeeze the vehicle with the same pressure that would be applied by the chopsticks, but while the vehicle is basically in the same pressure state that it would be during a catch attempt. So like during launch, you have your operational pressure, which is probably much higher, like what is it, like 5 or 6 bar or something like that. And then when they're catching it, they bleed off all that pressure before I think during reentry or before reentry. So it's a lot. You have nowhere near as much pressure inside of the actually, and this is an unpressurized part of the vehicle anyways, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
because it's
so
only
go ahead.
yeah, it's only the header tanks that are pressurized at this point. Everything in the vehicle's already been vented.
Yeah, so I can't think of why you would need to do this. I mean, it doesn't necessarily make sense. Because I feel like you could do it on the ground with just a smaller test article. Like they could have added these onto the current ship 30, the 39.1 test article, which is about to come back out here soon. Like I don't get why they didn't just put it on that and then do this test on a smaller test stand.
If it helps anything, it looks like those two black V's are going to be welded to the simulated rails
On
on the
where?
the ones on the ground. the rusty ones.
So you're saying these will be welded
Yeah.
to these?
Yeah, you can see the mount points.
Right here?
Yeah, because they have to have it so that it'll clear the upper flaps.
Right.
So
That's confusing. Okay. So yeah, so they're going up like this, like a V.
Yeah, that's how it's looking to me. And
Interesting.
yeah, so that'll probably be suspended. So there's more to the structure. Again,
That hasn't shown up yet. Yeah.
And this is why we spent an hour here yesterday.
I'm not going to do that. I think we can maybe see if there's any speculation in the chat, but I don't think we need to necessarily spend a whole hour speculating on that. It's just one of those mysteries that like we almost need to wait until we actually see it to fully understand what's going on. But yeah, I mean it's one of the more odd testing structures that we've seen at this point, especially if it's only like a single use type thing, or if this is something that they need with every static fire test, like they'll basically be stress testing the catch points on every ship. I mean, I guess that is pretty important to make sure. I mean, it's like you do the cryo test with the thrust simulator, so every single vehicle gets a test of the structural integrity of its thrust puck. And I guess maybe every single vehicle also needs that same test for the catch pins.
Perhaps I was under the expectation that they were. I don't know why they couldn't have just held this up by a load spreader off the LR 11,000 instead of building all this.
Right. Yeah, I think we're missing a detail here for sure. Sorry, I'm just like looking in the chat to see if there's any theories in there.
Lots of hugging theories.
Yeah, we do have a lot of questions where people are already throwing out speculation.
Bring them on.
All right, give me just a second here. All right, Drew Nar asks, isn't there also hydraulics for the QD plate clamps?
On the lower, yeah. There's the
Oh, so we're talking about the
I got thrown a curveball.
Yeah, I had to like sit there and think about it for a second. So I think he's talking about where are they? Does this one even have those? Are you talking about the rotating clamps?
The rotating clamps are off to the side, it looks like. There's the centering pistons. Yeah.
But I thought these ones are push off to disconnect.
Yeah, I thought so too, but
now that I think about it, this is actually very similar to the old design. It just doesn't have the little, X braces that come off it, and instead they just like made it look a little bit different. But for the most part, this is very similar, in my opinion, to the other QD. But yeah, so I guess these would need hydraulics, so that could be hydraulic lines for those. But you would think that, do they all need individual lines like that?
I don't know. And most of this I thought previously was almost manual to connect.
Zack, we do have a picture straight down in the Patreon lounge, but I don't think it clears too much more up.
Yeah, I think I can find that. Is that from this week?
I'm not sure. I just asked for some help, and of course, as always, our other people in the chats helped out and sent some pictures.
Gotcha. I can pull those up. Yeah, navigating Discord while you're streaming is. Oh, okay. cool. Well, I will pull that up here for a second. So I should have that image too then. Okay. Yeah, I'll pull that up when we get to the launch site in that case. Anyways, so yeah, they're I would say this seems to be like the last remaining thing on the static fire stand. I mean, they're really like tightening up all the stuff with inside of the tank farm, mostly just this little bunker. They're kind of got a little sloped back going on here. I like this. It looked kind of stupid a few weeks ago, in my opinion, but now I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me as much as it did before. Now it makes sense with this big sloped back they have here. I've actually been inside buildings like this, and I've always wondered like how they do that. Like this specific this part right here on the backside. I don't know what you want to call this, but I've always wondered like it's really cool seeing things like from the beginning instead of just seeing it for the first time when it's finished and you don't really get to appreciate what goes into it. But yeah, at this point I'm still wondering if we will see them add shielding over the rest of this plumbing.
I hope so.
I have a feeling they may not at this point.
I wouldn't put money that they will.
Yeah, I mean, if this is the only thing in the farm that's not protected, I suppose that's not too bad. Like if the same event happened, from ship 36, they wouldn't hopefully have to replace the entire farm. It would just be whatever's right here, which would be a pretty good improvement.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's some internal baffles in those tunnels heading back.
To prevent like pressure waves from blowing back through there.
Or like just the like when the other one went, all the locks and propellant that hit the ground and dispersed.
Right. You wouldn't want them like just basically coming up through here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, to me, these aren't things that are critical to actually begin using the test stand again. It's more like cosmetic things at this point, back there at least. And then once this QD is finished, I mean, I imagine this stuff will probably be done within the next week. But then that just leaves this whole stand over here. And the static fire test stand itself seems like they're mostly finished with that. The only thing I can see missing are like the little handrails that were on there on the stairs. So that seems like it's pretty much ready to go.
The RVAC stabilizers.
Oh yeah, the brackets for the RVACs are missing. Do they have those around here?
I didn't see them. But yeah, it does. Once I put the dance floor on it, it should be
good to go. Yeah, and so they're getting close on they're in the process of assembling the second one, which we'll see when we get to Sanchez. So yeah, I mean, really, really good progress on that. And it's kind of funny that we haven't seen the same progress on the actual cryo test stand, but now I think we know why. So, they haven't even started redoing all the plumbing on this yet. But this week they did have, there's a 39 point, all these test articles, 39.1, I think, which was previously out here for cryo testing. And then it went, they removed it from the cryo stand, sent it back to the Star Factory. And now, as of I think 2 days ago, it's now back, or yesterday, they moved it back into Megabay 2, I think.
Yeah.
Is it visible right now? I didn't check actually.
I know BJ posted
The door's closed.
the video of it getting lowered down onto his last night in Patreon Lounge, I think.
Perfect. May I pull that up here? Yeah, so it went back into the Star Factory to have some modifications done to it. I don't think we've gotten any like super close images of it yet, but one thing that we do see, I don't think it had the docking hardware installed on it previously.
No, and the docking QDs were from some of the ground photos were kind of interesting.
Are they different than the normal QDs?
There's a second set, and it's just the holes. We can't quite see which are active and which ones are. But now it's obvious, at least, that there's going to be 2 sets of QD plates.
Interesting. Where is the is it this pair right here?
Yeah, there's one on each side. Yeah.
Do we have any close-up images of this? Did anybody happen to get some?
I haven't seen any if they did.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm sitting here looking in Discord to see if I can find any. That's interesting. Now, yeah, I hadn't had a chance to like look at this yet, so it's a bit of a surprise to me that they actually added additional QDs onto here, and so they just like modified the existing skirt
It looks like.
with that. I'm surprised we don't have a close-up image of this. Well, if we
Jake
happen to
thinks
find
there's something different, but
okay, so I guess we do have a whole list of changes that they put on made to this, thanks to Jax and Nick. So I'm just gonna like read through this list really quick. So they added a new docking port enclosure right here. Doubler plates around the skirt vents near the docking ports. I guess that's these like plates down here and around this. Hoop stiffeners over the skirt vents. 2 rows of skirt vents on each side of the QD have been covered to add room for raceway stuff developed. Extra structural reinforcement frame around the QD, and the QD has extra ports and appear to be fully developed for use with the cryo station at Massey's. Okay, so that would, I'm guessing having the actual QD on this would be, which they didn't have before, which was part of the reason why they they never added the version 3 QD on there yet. Let me get to this. So if they have the QD on the test article, then shouldn't they need to finish retrofitting this now? All the scaffolding down there is kind of hard to see what they're doing. I don't know if I have a better angle.
I looked around and I didn't see any, unless it's coming virtually complete. Most of the propellant lines and stuff don't look like they're in place.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sitting here trying to scroll to find a better image of that.
Almost as if they're going to put it on the static fire stand rather than.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I mean,
but I think the static fire stand and the cryo stand, they don't really line up the same, like as far as the heights go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what's I was finding are they just going to do what they and have a ground umbilical that they're going to just manually connect it to?
Extend from this. Yeah.
Well, since you don't even really have most of the propellant lines up there, it's almost as if.
Yeah, I can't see any of the. Wait, they don't even have. Okay. Yeah, this was confusing me for a second. Yeah, very odd, but it's interesting that they took it back and added all of this stuff instead of just like doing all that from the beginning and bringing it out. Like it just feels like the ship testing is far behind right now to me. So unless they actually do add that full QD onto here, then we still have to wait for them to actually bring that 39.1 out here, test that. Then once they're done with that testing, finish the modifications on this before we'll actually see ship 39 come out for cryo testing. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like January launch seems out of the question to me. What do you guys think? I'm thinking like March.
I'm hoping for February, but that's optimistic. And the other thing is, I don't know if the cryo stand is even completely operational yet because it was heavily being modified last week.
Right. Yeah, good point. So they made all those modifications to it, and it still doesn't have the normal clamps on it, right? The ship clamps.
No, it didn't, as far as like.
So that's another structure that has to be modified before ship 39 can begin testing as well. So yeah, definitely far behind on the ship. Like I've and the thing is, like, no matter what happened with booster 18, like they still would have been in the same position with the ship, in my opinion. So it almost feels like they didn't really have much of a setback from that booster incident.
Yeah, I agree, Zach. Unless maybe the booster incident slowed testing down that they thought they would have had done by now on ship. But yeah, ship definitely seems like it's more behind than booster.
Yeah. Which, take their time. If I think all of us are totally fine with them taking their time, especially on the ship. I think in general people are probably a little more nervous for the ship than they are for the booster. But the booster is a very massive change this time around. I think it's a bigger change. The V2 to V3 booster, in my opinion, is a bigger change than the V1 to V2 ship. So, both of them seem like they're in new territory, I would say. So, the more testing, the better. And I wish actually we could show some of the stuff they've been doing out at McGregor, because they've been doing some like really interesting things to like prepare for testing on the launch mount, specifically the plumbing for the booster aft section. They basically built out the booster aft section on the ground at McGregor. So like basically all of the plumbing is built out on the ground with all the valves and whatnot. And basically it kind of seems like they're practicing all of the different like loading systems they have. So for all of your high pressure gases and all your COPV fill and all that stuff. So it seems like they're doing a lot more ground testing in general right now with all of these V3 vehicles. Like, in my opinion, probably like 5 times more testing than they did with the previous versions, which is good to see. I mean, you can only do the fly and fix so long before you actually need to start putting more time in up front to actually do that testing ahead of time and find things that will fail before you even fly instead of the other way around. So on that note, they are doing finally preparing for this structural verification test of the hot stage ring, or the interstage, basically. So they're finally getting set up for this. The cap is now on top of the aft skirt. And do we know this isn't actually like clamped on? Like this isn't even this doesn't have clamps, right? Actually, we can see in
Looks
here.
like it. Yeah, it looks like it only had the guides. But they were
Okay,
also
so they're
holding
basically just using the guides to keep it in position, and then its own weight to hold it down, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
there's
that's
no
capped
clamps.
on. 'Cause
Interesting.
they had to come along so that they were. And I think they did that with the original test of the hot stage, but I might be misremembering.
I'd have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure that one had clamps on it, though. I could be wrong. But yeah, I guess with this, this is probably one of the first things I would have expected them to do, like even before all the aft section testing. Because if you have an issue with your interstage, like that's a pretty big deal. So it's interesting that they're only just now getting to this. I'm trying to look and find the image showing all of the rods that they're about to install on here. Yeah, so we can see these all the rods pre-assembled on the ground down here. These are super long. So they're currently preparing to install all of these. I don't think they've started that yet. I haven't been paying attention to the cameras this morning, but we can see one over here waiting to be installed. And I think with these, they basically just slide them straight through. I could be wrong on that. These fold back and then they just drop them in, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And all of the actuators are now installed. These look weird.
Yeah, that was one of the things we saw in show and tell. Some of them look different. Some of them are quite significantly taller. I'm not sure if they're actuators. They appear to be, but there's definitely a difference in
They actually don't
actuators.
look like actuators.
No, the
They
tall
look more
ones,
like
or all of
they
them.
look more like COPVs, honestly. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a large.
There's some angular shots at them that, yeah, you can see the height difference.
And the diameter different looks.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. So basically, those rods kind of just thread right onto here.
Correct.
Thread lock on, yeah. But there are some that are like they almost stick out of the entire area where these ones are nestled into. It's like that sticks above it. I think the one is just out of sight is taller than the rest of them.
It's possible they're not all fully installed yet. There are a few missing as well.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was BJ or not, but somebody was saying last night that it was like a staggered setup where it was higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower all the way around.
Yeah, I can see this one up here that's taller.
Way higher.
Probably not. It's center jet.
Yeah, and the weird part about this is, they did add these little like frame pieces onto the side of this, which we still do not understand the purpose for. And I was hoping that we would kind of see that integrated into this if they were testing the grid fins, but it doesn't seem like that is happening yet. I feel like that is another important thing to see, though. The interstage and the housing for these grid fins. I mean, the last thing you want is for those things to rip off in flight.
I think.
Or catching.
Oh yeah, because they have to. Yeah, because they're landing on them now, right? They're definitely going to have to test that soon.
I think that's what the three parts in the background are going to be for.
Yeah, so these components right here.
Correct.
These are interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, because the large brace that they added to the front of the booster, if I were speculating just from looking how it's structured, it looks like it's more for testing the landing tank rather than
which one are you talking about?
the big frame on the side with the X
These?
on. Yeah. Just the way it's braced, it to me looks like it's not for grid fins.
Yeah, and these right here, I can see the little holes through these brackets right there, and I'm guessing these probably sit on these.
No, those are for
Yeah.
alignment on the SPMTs.
Okay.
Yeah, they dropped this off and haven't done anything to it, which is kind of irritating.
I mean, like I said, it's good that they're taking their time, and this is in reality, that this is like still faster than the qualification process for most vehicles. So, it's just insane how much they have going on at one time, because this really is two completely new vehicles versus last time with the V2 ship. Sorry, the technical V2 booster didn't necessarily require any additional qualification testing like the ship did. So doing two vehicles at the same time is quite a lot. Like this is pretty intense. And matter of fact, on that note, we have seen I think the 15th test of 18.3 or 18.1 this week. Is it 15 or 16? I think it's 15. But yeah, very, very rigorous testing right now. And that alone is pretty interesting. I mean, in my opinion, it kind of seems like a sign that they're moving away from, just using a vehicle one or two times. Like with every vehicle so far that has reflown, it's just done it one time. And now with these ones, they're expecting to refly them, who knows how many times. So they're kind of trying to get, in my opinion, maybe like life cycle testing. So you're kind of simulating multiple launches, and I guess up to this point, 15 separate launches. So you're basically getting long-term testing data instead of, I guess that's a little bit different when you're doing cycle tests like that instead of just doing one single qualification test.
Yeah, Jake put something in the back chat about the different size actuators, that they probably can apply different forces. So you've got 10 of them that can apply a certain force, and then 10 more that can apply a different force, maybe going for different cycles, possibly. But it kind of splits it up and gives you different forces.
You're talking about for this one?
Yeah.
They might be set up for, some of them are for more gross what's that? And the other ones might have a little finer control.
Yeah, because you're kind of so during max Q, it's still kind of like pitching over, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of simulating the bending that's happening during max Q.
And the acceleration just before hot staging as well. I'm not sure if max Q is just for aerodynamic forces versus vehicle dynamics.
Yeah, the one thing that makes me sad about them moving all of this stuff to Massey is the fact that we're not going to be able to truly see what's happening during those tests, because with some of them you could actually see, flexing of the ropes that they used to use, and sometimes you'd even see ice fall off the vehicle as they're pulling down on it. So that is one of the things that is a little bit sad about the fact that they're doing this stuff here.
Yeah, and the 18.1, I also think they're correlating their models to physical data also probably for their, like you're saying, the long term.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they're actually performing a different test each time, or do you think they're just repeating the same test and kind of analyzing? I guess I don't even know, like what
It's yeah,
you would.
you'd put a set of forces through it, and then you have the dynamics of all the strain sensors engages they have,
Right.
and then you run the same as a simulation in your software, and it's similar like F1 when they're trying to correlate their aerodynamic models to the actual vehicle performance.
Right.
Because for something like this, you're just making gross simplifications, and simulating the actual physics would be nearly impossible. So lots of shortcuts.
Yeah, I feel like I said earlier, this is like new territory, and like in my opinion, reflying the booster multiple times has got to be kind of scary for them because without being able to have all these sensors all over everything, these strain gauges and whatnot, like you can't necessarily see that stuff in flight. So like if you have fatigue damage over time, you may not necessarily be able to see it. So like you could just be on your 10th flight thinking everything is good, and all of a sudden something finally fails from fatigue. So I think it's probably super important for them to try and figure out where those failures will likely happen. um, yeah, I mean, I hope we never see a booster failure, and if it does happen, hopefully it's not on the pad. But yeah, definitely getting into interesting territory with such a large vehicle and flying it multiple times.
Yeah, and Falcon's data is probably just because of construction differences, not wouldn't carry over as much.
Transferable, like, yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with aircraft, because I think this is sort of the largest skinned stainless steel aerospace vehicle.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be shocked and like to know what it was if it wasn't.
Exactly. I mean, since everything is aerospace seems to be aluminium, I mean, everything from your jet fuselages to those ISO grids that they machine out.
I haven't had time to go through all these images really quick, so I just want to check for my own knowledge if they're finally finished pulling all this wire through the tank farm. Seems like they may have finished finally. All the bundles of cables that were laying around are gone.
Yeah, I've given up keeping track of that because it seemed like for months it was just piled up.
Yeah, it looks like it's gone. And the they have installed 2 of the LOX tanks, or sorry, LOX pumps, and they're still missing 2 more. Matt, did we have any questions about the test articles? Now that I've scrolled through to make sure we didn't miss anything else.
Yeah, I can get on with the questions for you if you like. All 4 said, what could the framework extensions at the bottom of that gantry be used for besides stability? Could the extensions up from there hold up those test sections?
Extensions.
On the side of where 18.3 is sitting, I'm assuming. The old
Are you
OG.
talking about these ones? Or,
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
and can you repeat the question?
Yeah, it said, what could the framework extensions at the bottom of the gantry be used for besides stability? Could they be up from there? Could extensions up from there hold up those test sections?
Aggie's back at the flame trench. Yeah, side
that's
test
what I
on
was
the
thinking
gantry.
too.
How they wing out and go down the sides. We're in line with what I think he's talking about now.
Yeah, I still don't fully understand the question though, I guess.
I think he's wondering
have-
if they can use those side wings that come out to the side of the ship, not on the gantry itself, but that come out to the side for support. If something can be lifted up from there to hold these testing articles up, the hugger.
But when you say the testing article, are they referring to the ship?
I think he's referring to the article, the hugging articles there, the side pieces that are on there. I believe.
Oh, the catch rails.
Yeah, they specifically said framework extensions at the bottom of the gantry. So I'm not sure exactly.
Oh,
So down
the,
next to
the stabilizer wings for stabilizing the base of this tower, since it only has the 2 connection points.
So yes, right there. Would they be able to extend something up from there to possibly hold on the testing, catching testers? Doesn't appear like they have anything to be added to that, but it's hard to say where they're going to go from with any of this.
Yeah, and you'd have to also make sure it doesn't conflict with the aft flaps. Actually, sorry, the aft flaps are just above this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's possible. I don't see any brackets on this though that would lead us to believe that something else would be added on there, but it's certainly possible. Sorry, that took me a long time to understand what was being asked there.
All good.
Next question.
Yeah, next one's from John T. Is the static fire mount frame for ship catching tests?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it has something to do with that.
To our best guess, that's where I think we're kind of in agreement on.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Kennett asks, are they redoing the concrete in the bottom of the flame trench? Because it looks like there's some exposed rebar down there.
It's also a basket lift down there. For crane.
I'm guessing I would need to see this from the opposite side.
There's a lot of weeping happening above that from that joint. I can't look at this.
I don't think there's like exposed I mean, maybe it's even further over than I can't currently see from this angle. I don't think I've ever seen any exposed rebar down there, but yeah, they are doing something down in that trench still. I don't think we have an angle looking like basically from the Mexico side to where I can see that all the way. But yeah, they're doing something down there.
Yeah, there's that vault on the in that corner. Yeah, that one, which I don't think I've never seen it. Got a good indication of what's happening in it, but
You're talking about where the sump pump is?
yeah, because that seems like a pretty robust crane just for the sump maintenance. But maybe that's all that's happening. Might have.
I guess you could consider this exposed rebar. Yikes.
Yeah, I always wondered if they were going to redo the sides at all while they got it all apart. And
you would think, but apparently not.
yeah.
Cool. Next question.
All right, we've got a couple of random questions, but one that's a lot more pointed at what we're talking about. Drew Nar asks, do they have to adjust TVC and trajectory for bending and flexing of the rocket during flight? So maybe these multiple tests are to measure the flex of body structures and clamps?
You have the main thrust vector, and I don't know what sort of internal guidance they're using, or if they're just strictly doing it off of electronic means. But it
Off of
shouldn't
what?
make, like, if they're doing it from like Starlink or GPS or if they have a internal reference that they're using. I'm imagining they're using stars and satellites.
For what?
Their position, where they are in space as they're up to climb up the hill. Because you have to be pretty for your orbital insertions and your gravity turns and all that fun stuff.
Wait, but the question was about the test article?
Yeah, if the flexing as a vehicle would influence how, I assume it's how the flexing of the vehicle might interfere with the navigation. So as the center of mass would slightly moves with oscillations in the vehicle, how much? That's my assumption of what they were asking.
Well, you got me.
Yeah, and just a couple other things real quick. Mauricio put up a poll of when do we think the 12th flight test date is going to happen, and the results are March with 46% was the top one. So we want to say thank you to Just Martin for re-upping his early access. He says, love the show. And Astro Joe sent 1 gifted membership. And then Todd Bernal with a $20 super chat saying, tempting to get Matt with a tongue twister, but I'll be nice and just send cash for fuel. We appreciate it, guys.
I'm glad I could help, man.
I'm
Awesome.
disappointed.
And I did see one question in the chat. We always get questions on this, but yeah, someone asked if this is a fire break or if it's just for future housing. But yeah, it's purely a fire break. We always get questions about this every week.
I could not imagine living across the way from that thing.
Yeah, definitely not. Cool. Was that all of our questions for Massey's then?
That's everything.
Awesome. Well, we will go ahead and move ourselves over to the Sanchez site, where it's actually somewhat quiet this week with all of the big items having been moved out. Trying to get us over to the right side over here. Yeah, so not much going on with the ground fab building as far as I know. Still working on this transport stand over here for the booster and assembling the well, they haven't really started the last ship or the third ship transport stand. Sorry, it's like always a challenge to find the right image. Yeah, so they do have 2 of the ship transport stands assembled, still working on the third, or I'm assuming we'll start that soon. And I don't think we've actually seen, or they may have installed clamps on this one, it looks like.
I think they did last week.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed that.
But the only reason I remember is there's
clamps.
That's what I'm not sure, but yeah. Those almost look just like the guide pins, not like the whole clamp assembly. But
right. Man, this thing is so like low profile compared to the. Actually, it's about the same as far as height goes as the other transport stand, but it just looks. It looks a lot lighter.
It's slick. Looks slick. We did run into another rabbit hole, Zach. If you go down, there's a couple of smaller, round, gray, bluish articles. It's down in the next area. I think me and Jake caught this early on before we even got there. Nope, go down. And to your right.
Right above where they made those 2. Yeah.
A lot of time was spent there last night.
Oh. Do you want my theory?
Absolutely.
That one is for the to replace the structure on the ship cryo stand. You have the 6 mounting points for the actuators. And the other one looks like it's going to mate with the old can crusher. Those two vertical sections align pretty well with the the mystery appendage off the back of it. And if you remember, that test article had the opened aft section for seemingly testing more of the transfer tube. So I think this is a carryover of that. So, but we'll see how close I was or completely wrong.
Wait, so you're saying this would go on the old can crusher?
Yep. If you remember, before it went out, they had a whole bunch of actuators.
I just do.
And the two vertical structures.
What am I doing?
Yeah, the one where it's the cap on it, that one.
Right.
The two verticals are in the same radius as the two verticals they added to the outside on the opposite side of this, which I believe are in line with the that.
Some of these.
Yep. Like if you put that in the middle and you put a straight line across, they should intercept. And I think it's for testing the LUX landing tank, as well as mounting, as well as the transfer tube. But I could be completely wrong.
Interesting. Yeah, I may need to like see a model of that, because I'm having a hard time visualizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean because this looks similar to like the nose cone testing. Actually, no, this is way bigger. Like the little cap they put on top of the nose cone during the testing. And so you were thinking this one was related to the cryo test stand?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that has been moved into the Megabay, so I
Right.
can't really try and you're thinking these were for the actuators?
No, you can see along the top.
These ones.
No, the top, because there's I think 3 or actuators per engine mount. So 2 of them are coming from the sides, and then 1 from the bottom, working in a rocker, so that they can simulate the thrust vectoring.
Right.
But
is it possible I feel like we've seen these before, right?
Yeah, those I think are for the 3 stands or the 3 pieces that they haven't welded to anything, potentially for the grid fin testing. Except 2 of them are different than the third one, so these actually could end up on the stand 18-3's on, and I could be completely wrong with the other gray structure.
This
That
does look like something that would interface with the inside of the grid fin mount, the holes for the grid fins.
Yeah, and then you can push up and down on the outer with the cylinder, and then rock it from side to side with those. And the 2 that are together look like they have a pivot point on underneath midway. Yeah, there. And the third one doesn't. So
these would be the side
Catchers.
Yeah.
Oh. The landing hardware, basically.
Or to mount it so that they can have more freedom with how they want to beat on the catch hardware and the grid fins. And then the third one is for the center.
Other grid fin. Right.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, I'm assuming with these being out here that we'll probably see those. Actually, sorry, they've been out here for a few weeks now, right?
No, they just the 3 arms have been there for probably a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, the extra structures. I didn't see them last week, and I'm pretty sure that they're new this week.
Did they just paint these though? At least.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, so
they
we
were
probably will see them move
rusty.
out.
Yeah, and it looks like with the frames that are next to it and it looks like control panels on next to the telehandler. That they're probably this week are going to start assembling that out at Massey's.
I would love to be on the that structural testing team because they're always coming up with cool ways to test all of these components.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we're all wrong and it's IB proof in part 2.
Could be.
Essentially, that's it.
The breakover rig. I think we came to a conclusion. It's definitely a breakover rig.
Now that stuff is over in the crane yard.
See, I'm moving over just to see if there's anything else down here. With that QD being moved out, there's not a ton happening in Sanchez right now. There is this weird frame. Is this being assembled or yeah?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's some welding station for the factory, just by how beefy the frame is.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if it could be for the so in the Megabay 1, aren't they still doing the final weld between the methane and LOX tank by hand?
I've never seen anything go in that was speculated for replacing that, so I'm assuming.
So I mean, you could have a welding station high up in the bay for that final weld. I mean, I did think that existed already, but it would be in the corner. Actually, they did post a. Was that Elon who posted that image, or SpaceX? Looking in the corner of the bay. I'm trying to think of who posted that.
Yeah, last week. That's right at the level where they're welding, and there's that.
I want to look if it's on Elon's, then we're not going to find it because he posts everything other than SpaceX related stuff lately. So I will check SpaceX's though, and we'll see if we can actually find that really quick. There we go. Whoa, what did I just do? Yeah. Is this? Oh, this is a clean room, right? Not the welding station.
Yeah, I think the welding station would be behind.
In the corner?
Or just below the platform.
But that structure does remind me of this one, though. Kind of.
Yeah, and it's the last welding stuff we saw go in the factory was built very stout like that. And BJ, I know, got a lot of grief from people about swearing up and down that he is wrong, that it was a welding station. So,
that's funny.
Hey, we got a lot of arrows. So
that would make sense if this is part of a turntable, then welding station turntable being assembled near each other.
It's either that or it's more structural testing because it sort of looks like but they use the same interface with all those bolt holes for sons of clamps and stuff.
Right. Okay, moving over a little bit. I really don't think there's much else happening in Sanchez this week.
No.
Yeah, other than just things being moved around, I don't think there was too much exciting going on.
Yeah, we did have the static fire stand. Looks like they're preparing to lift this on top of the 4 little columns right here, and then add the legs on after that. So making good progress on this. I think this is almost like the exact position that the little way station that they had over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very close.
Yeah, when's that? Didn't they only use that once?
I
Yeah.
believe so. I was just about to say, I think they only used that once, but yeah, I can only recall it once.
Okay, I'm going to move us over to the Gigabay because there's not much to talk about in Sanchez. That's pretty crazy. Like, usually we're only just now getting to Sanchez. All right, Gigabay. I feel like progress was a little bit slow this week because there was a lot of wind all week long. So they did make some progress in the middle, but it seems like the cranes 3 and 4 for some reason just switched from working in the middle to working on the backside over here. So these two made a lot more progress than these did this week. But yeah, made a lot of. It's coming along really well. I don't know if they're. I was thinking that they were catching the Roberts Road facility, but now I'm not sure anymore, and I'm starting to wonder if they are actually doing 24/7 operations at Roberts Road as well.
BJ was around because PK pointed out that the door hardware for the back transfer aisles, the actual framing is markedly looks lighter weight than any of the other exterior. So I'm starting to wonder if those could.
Like on the backside, do I need to look on the other side?
Yeah, that they
Yeah.
might be removable at a later date.
These? Are you talking about all this?
Yes. Yeah, some of the framing in there PK was pointing out was of lighter construction. And since he has all that experience in that field, I wanted to bring it up. And
Yeah, I can't really tell the difference, but
it's somebody who has spent his lifetime building very large that if he said so, it's like,
You know,
okay.
when he was explaining, it's like, oh yeah, I see that. Now I'm looking like, wait, what the heck was I looking at? Yeah, he's so really good at explaining this stuff. So what he was explaining made perfect sense. I could see it to the T what he was saying, but yeah, I can't see it now.
And it was so simple that it was just like, oh yeah, I'll totally remember that. And now it's just sort of like Todd said.
Well, I do imagine that if they do the corrugated flooring all the way across and put concrete over there, that in my opinion is a sign that this is permanent, or else they would just use the steel panels, instead. So it'd be more easily removable. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a permanent doorway.
Yeah.
Did you just say concrete equals permanent at Starbase, Zack?
Inside of a building.
No, I know what you mean in the building.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, sorry. I thought that was something else. But yeah, interesting. They have, with the downtime this week, not being able to make as much progress actually assembling things. They did do a ton of offloading of steel. So while the cranes were not really trying to be lifting things above the structure, they were offloading trucks, and you can see just the entire transfer aisle is almost full of steel right now. So when they do get back to working, I don't know if they are today, I haven't checked, but they'll be just flying through all this steel. And I'm sure the guys that are trying to get caught up on bolts and flooring and all that stuff appreciate every day where they end up, being able to work in an actual pattern that makes sense. Because a lot of times they end up having to, so right now they would probably want to be doing the floor over here, but they anywhere that there's not flooring, so like let's say there wasn't flooring on this side right now, they would have to switch over to here to do that because they always put the flooring down before they actually start doing the next set of columns. So like you will see them actually skip over certain areas and come back to them later because they have to basically do the pre-preparation for the next level. So I do imagine that they enjoy the days where they're not playing catch up, or I don't know if catch up's the right word, or they're able to play catch up and kind of fill back in all the areas that they've kind of skipped over.
Probably a lot less stressful when your deadline isn't quite as critical.
Yeah, it's funny when you look at this from certain angles. It's hard to look at, and then other angles you can actually just appreciate the size of all of these workstations a little bit more. But yeah, I have noticed that they still, I can't tell if they're preparing for concrete yet. Like they have done the welding all the studs on the corrugated panels down here, but they haven't started to lay down like rebar or anything. So it looks like that may still be a lot later down the road. But yeah, still great progress, and just like tons and tons of work going on over here. Is that new?
It's to scrape the mud off the tires when they're doing.
Oh, okay, it looked like an actual drain.
Right? Yeah, because usually they use up yellow plastic stuff instead of.
I was looking for a specific angle of this, but I can't find it. Yeah, not much to really, discuss as far as the Megabay goes this week. It's more assembling of the IKEA set, but yeah, this is one of my favorite areas to check in on, just because it's, this is easily one of the most craziest structures that they've built here, next to the actual Star Factory. I mean, the difference between this and the Star Factory is actually being able to fully see those workstations as they're assembling them, whereas this, we have no idea how that layout looks inside of here at all. So,
and
yeah.
Same way with the Megabays, where we just saw the shelving stacked and never really saw how's the workstations.
Yeah, we literally sit around waiting for SpaceX to post an image just so we can see the interior. And speaking of that, they are busy in here. I think they're still have a little bit more work transitioning these two workstations, but the one in the back left is complete, has been for kind of a while now. Booster 19 is still sitting over here. I don't think we can actually see it from that angle. You just barely see it right there. Yeah, I'm surprised that it hasn't rolled out for testing yet, honestly.
Keep wondering if that road closure coming up, if they'll roll back the stand.
When is that?
Tonight.
Is it tonight? Yeah.
Tonight.
Okay, so we may see them roll the cryo stand back.
Hopefully.
Did it look like it was about to move? Oops.
There's also
No.
S39.1, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to be rolling it as well.
And it's a production of Massey's closure.
Well, you have to bring the SPTs back. So.
Probably not. This doesn't really look like it's about to move. Okay. So 39.1 then?
Yeah, that's definite.
Yes, I would say.
Yeah, well, I imagine at least within the next week, I hope we'll see Booster 19 roll out. I do actually wonder, though, like just given what we've seen in some of the McGregor images, if they're trying to finish some testing at McGregor related to the V3 boosters before they move out to testing here. I am curious if that's something that's going on. I do wish we could show some of those images, but I think they'll probably be out in the next NASA space flight. Actually, I don't know if they release those. It's just on their members' images, but yeah, interesting stuff going on at McGregor related to these V3 boosters. Can't see into Megabay 2 this week, but like I said, there's 39.1 ready to roll out, and ship 39 is still completely covered in scaffolding. And I think there was actually some Starship Gazer posted something this morning, I want to say, of the new tiles.
They started taking the scaffolding down around the nose cone and payload bay already.
Why is it not the first thing that pops up?
His account was hacked.
Oh, so he's not on here right now?
He's in the process of covering his account, I believe.
Oh,
Ryan, how long was the last time from fully stacked
going on
to when they rolled it out? Because I'm assuming a lot of the steps that they did were compressed, and they're probably catching up with.
What, 38?
do you guys know? You guys know who
Yeah.
posted that image this morning of the tiles?
Niall did.
38. Let's see here. Finished stacking on May 28th, and it cryoed on July 30th. So 39
Okay.
finished 2 months ago, basically, is when 39 was finished. So
Yeah, so this is a image, a little zoom in on some of the tiles on ship 39. I guess this is only on, I don't know if it's on the left or right half, or if it's, yeah, I mean, this is weird. It seems like it almost seems like they drilled out the attachment points and then installed like a thicker crunch wrap around the side. Really
trying to
weird.
remember exactly where the pins were. I think those were opposite of the pins. I'd have to ask Nick again. But they were messing around with 40 for the longest time, and then they did it to 39, and then they're done. So they did, I don't know what they did. Either did something to the pins or they added something in. Maybe they're going to 6 pins per tile. I don't know.
Thought the pins were a little more centered than that, but the tile I have might be older and they've changed. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some ProRes images later. In the meantime, yeah. So I guess that scaffolding is coming down then, you're saying, finally?
Yes, they started taking it down last night,
About
this
time.
morning, depending on where you're at.
Then now I wonder is if that new tile works, if they're going to have to redo the whole body, or if that'll be a 40s problem.
Well, what's odd is they did it. It looks like half of 39 is done. Like parts of it, not the entire nose cone and payload bay, but one side of it. Like if you're looking right into Megabay 2, it looks like it's the left side of the vehicle that's done. And then 40, there's a good chunk of the nose cone is done, and then there's parts of like the flaps that are done. Because you see on the right side, it's like not even touched. So maybe it's an experiment?
Not like SpaceX Tepper
Right.
experiment with the heat shield. And maybe they're going to see
Yeah.
if they can land only half of a ship this time around.
The SpaceX hasn't posted their time limit events and expected, flight plan and things, right? They haven't posted that for this next flight yet, have they?
That'll
No.
be like a week before. That'll be when they go
Yeah,
ahead and
okay.
announce a date. And considering they just welded S39.1 to the cryo stand, I think we're looking at May at this rate.
April 1st run.
Probably. Or no, April 20th.
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 Yeah.
April 20th for the anniversary, and because it's April 20th.
I'm pretty sure they're kicking themselves since they can't have 20 and 40 for that date.
Yeah, so I guess moving on, the Star Factory, not much to really talk about there. I don't think there's anything new in this little parking lot, which is sometimes nice to find fun little items. We are, I don't think, going to spend much time on the village this week. I think that'll be saved for the show on Tuesday. So in the meantime, I guess unless we have any other questions or donations that we wanted to cover, I will move us over to the launch site.
We don't have any donations. Let me pull up the questions.
Yeah, because we pointed out the flaps in back last week, and I don't think anything changed with them.
Okay, let's see. They're basically random questions. They don't have anything to do with the area, but I can still ask them if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
Do you guys ever see a day in the far future where the ship or booster would be made of carbon fiber?
No.
No.
Let's bring back ITS.
Next one's from Brian Aries. When do you think they will start working on Flight 13 ship and booster? Since it takes a few months to build, we wouldn't be looking at Flight 13 until August or later, maybe?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I imagine the next ship is probably close to being ready to be stacked. I would probably expect to see that soon, but I don't know. They may be waiting for some of the structural qualification testing stuff to be finished in case they need to make modifications so that it's easier to do it before it's assembled, because they're already going to have to make modifications to the fully assembled ship 39 if necessary. So they may be waiting for structural qualification testing stuff to be finished. But yeah, I don't know. I think those vehicles will go not as fast as Booster 19 did, but they'll be much faster than than 18 and 39. Actually, 39 was kind of quick, but yeah, I don't know. I think we'll see them start to stack those soon.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
39 stacked about as quick as 38 did overall, or maybe even slightly quicker. I'd have to look at the numbers again. But I think they're, as Jack was saying, I think they're waiting on cryo testing and structural qualification testing.
And then real quick, we had Todd re-upping his RGV early access for 39 months. Let's get some fuel for flights, everyone. We can do it. RGV Aerial is worth every penny. You got that right, bud. And then Yazada jumping in real quick with a $10 super chat saying, here you go, Joe. And the last question on the list at the moment is from Exomanus, actually talking about the latest Falcon 9 launch. They are wondering if we know why they activated 3 engines for the landing burn. Not the entry burn, but the actual landing burn.
I woke up, was in here talking with these guys before the show, and I haven't even paid attention to it. That is interesting, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Which mission?
They just said it was the latest Falcon 9 launch. Not sure if it was the very last one or maybe the one before it.
The Twilight Rideshare mission landed on a single engine. A lot of times they do a 131. Sometimes when they go for a landing burn, they'll ignite one Merlin, then they'll ignite the other 2 in a line to bleed off more speed. They'll shut those down and then land with a single. So they do that a lot.
Well, perfect. There we go. And that's everything we got on the queue.
Awesome. Cool. Well, now we're at the launch site, starting with the air separation plant. They are, I don't think they made a ton of progress over this last week. I I feel like they haven't really done much in here. But
They've
I
just
do
been-
see that they've gotten some cryotubing in here.
I think that's just drainage.
Drainage.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, because it
It
goes
looked
into that.
insulated for a little bit.
I did, but then it goes into that looks like a ground drain, that square box.
Okay. Yeah, and so they still have all the stuff at the port waiting to be moved up here. So I'm assuming that'll happen. I'm guessing they've been waiting for this to kind of cure a little bit before they start bringing in this back area. Not a lot of progress either, but we are expecting that they will. Is that
It's a ton
rebar
of
cages?
No, that looks like just straight rebar for a pile cap of some sort,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
they're doing
So
something on the left side of that. Yeah, those wooden frames they dug out.
okay. Yeah. So we are expecting the new control boxes that they have installed or had delivered way over in the Hoppy parking lot. We'll probably go over here. But yeah, not a ton of progress over this last week, I would say.
Yeah, only they're setting up. It looks like for the big lifts, with all the crane mats are being installed.
Over here.
Yeah,
Yeah, yesterday there was truckload after truckload of crane mats coming in.
and they've started plumbing up the intercoolers on the big with the yellow lids, by the pumps. The big, yeah, there's a air to water intercoolers after each compression stage.
Yeah, so they got some new water lines or something that they're installing over here too.
Yeah,
Yeah, elsewhere in the tank farm, though, a little bit more change happening in there. The they are preparing for it looks like they've actually started drilling the CFA piles, I think, for the new methane tanks. If they haven't started, it looks like they're about to. It should be in here though, right?
at the top, you can see a bunch of them sticking out on the other side of the blue basket lift. You can see the orange of the top.
Oh, over here?
Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
wow. Why would they start? Interesting they started there first.
Yeah, they've decommissioned the old reclamation system.
But they haven't even, like, this trench is still here though.
They have no code. They just, yeah, there are a lot of things.
Yeah, so this reclamation tank right here is being removed. So this is part of the methane reclamation system, basically. And so, as far as we're concerned, or as far as we know, it may have been moved here. Or is that what you're still thinking, Alex?
It's either there's skids underneath, because there's the vent between the two tanks, which is the replacement of the pup stack. And I think last week or 2 weeks ago, they did some ground testing, and that thing was just spewing
Yeah.
vapor. So
With this being removed, I wonder if they've emptied all these methane tanks.
they've rerouted the pressure and vapor line. You can at the corner by the red R. Yeah, right there. There's the two small black going around. Yeah, those two are the new ones that they rerouted from those tanks. But it
Okay,
it looks kind of temporary because it looks even more janky than,
yeah.
because there's no supports under them, and I'm beginning to wonder if they're going to rip out all of these methane tanks.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if they're empty right now. Guess it would be nearly impossible to tell, though, right?
Sometimes you can see condensate, depending
that.
on and those all look pretty dry.
But all of them do.
They do have some scaffolding up on the two bigger ones, and actually most of them it looks like. Maybe they're finally getting done with them.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something, Ryan.
Which, thank God if they are.
McGregor, here they come.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see them finally making progress on that. I do wonder if these are the only active ones right now. I guess we'll have to see. And then, I mean, I don't think they would have done this whole bridge over right here if they weren't planning to use these soon. So I imagine they're probably at least still using these. But that will be interesting if these new tanks need to be added in before the next flight or not. Like if they, assuming these aren't being used right now, then they would probably need to get these tanks operational as quickly as possible. But I guess we'll find out soon. They do have a lot more piles to drill. You can see all of the rebar cages sitting over here, and there are more rebar cages over here as well too. But I think these may actually be for the flame trench. Which I guess we may as well move over to because there's not a ton else to talk about in the. Sorry, go ahead.
In the front, they've dug up all the concrete by the pipeway in front of the methane tanks. On the right by
Down here.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know. And
what was down here? Just conduit, though, right?
Concrete. Yeah, it looks like they've exposed some conduit by the frac tank, but it's a great example of how bad the ground here and groundwater, because it's all collapsing in on itself.
Where are you seeing that?
The right along the steel plates, you can see the cracks in the ground.
Yeah, you see how it's pushing them in right there, and same on the other side.
Yeah, the whole soil in this area is sus.
Oh yeah, there's that conduit down there.
Yeah, and that one really shows on the closest to the tanks. You can really see where the ground has started collapsing by the steel shoring plates.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing how many times they've dug all this concrete up to remove or add things and then replace the concrete again. Just crazy amounts of retrofitting work going on all the time. Moving over to Pad A, as I was mentioning, it does look like they may be starting the trench the trench piles soon. I'm assuming these are, because these are a little bit longer than what we see over here. There are some shorter ones down here.
They haven't been joined yet.
Yeah, the shorter ones were coming in, and they were joining them with some other rebar, making them longer. So if you look closely up there, you can see on the R end, there's like tighter support rings around them, and then as it goes down away from the camera, you can start to see larger gaps. That's the area where they added on since they were delivered. So at least last I saw.
Yeah, that's and I think the ones under the tanks, they're just having the center rod, since other don't have a lot of lateral loading. Those look like the extensions they put for centering the shorter cages. As you can see where the couplers are in the rebar.
Right. And they're not wasting any time on that. Like I'm guessing that as soon as this guy finishes up with the piles over here, immediately move down here. And the fact that all of this is filled back in with dirt seems to imply that all of the, which is interesting because I didn't see this at all this week. I'm guessing they removed all of the sheet piles.
Yeah.
They hammer them, like use the hammer to loosen them and then cut them out in pieces and whatnot. I think that's how they did it.
Yeah, it looked like it was
all of that's
quite the
gone already,
chore.
huh?
Yeah, the hammer left. So with this current state, they'll go in and they'll drill all the new piles that they need, having all the old ones still there, obviously, plus the 6 large leg pieces that are still there. I forget how deep those go down. Once that's done, then sheet piles, and then dig it out, right?
Yeah, or they'll just leave the piles in the ground for a while, but it's looking more likely that we should see because underneath the OLM they should be able to reuse the 6 they had for the legs and the multitude they added after Flight 1.
Yeah, they just have to add what else they need, which kind of cuts down on pile drilling time, but
Yeah. The support bunker and the propellant runs. And I kind of wonder if they do it in a weird order, if they wanted to start the structure before they have access to the ground, just because once they dig a trench out, they're going to have very little working space.
Did they remove the pond, or is it only just filled in still?
I think it just filled it in.
Filled in.
Yeah.
I wonder if they need to remove it before they can do all of the piles. I don't know if it would. I guess it actually ends like right here. The trench ends right here, so they'll probably be fine.
Yeah, they might be doing some pile work also around the tower, since the integration
reinforcement.
The new integration tower, it's almost the foundation's almost 4 times as big as this one, since it extends out the in all directions.
My biggest question, or at least one of the questions I have, is when's that crane going to come over and take that QD arm off? Because that has to come off.
Yeah. Soon.
I would think they would want to do it before they really start digging and everything, because then it's going to be really hard to get access to that area.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, I'm surprised because they're tearing up the old pad. Well, since they're setting up by B6 for the Tordanos, pretty sure the 11K is going to head this way soon.
What's odd too is the outriggers for the 11K came out. We'll see that in a minute, but I saw those come out.
Right.
I don't know. I would think they would want to take this arm off, get it, like take the extension out, take the main arm off, either take it to Sanchez and redo it, or just scrap it and rebuild it from scratch. Because I mean, they can't reuse the extension. That's an entirely different design. The arm they might be able to modify, but honestly, at this point, why not just build a new one, considering all the changes to it?
Right, because 39, they rebuilt the end of it. So yeah, that should hopefully come down this week.
Yeah, I don't see them having done any preparations to separate this, though. So I would expect that if they were planning to remove it in the coming week, like, because these are all hard lines instead of flex hoses, so I imagine they would probably have started separating all of these so that they could remove it. But it doesn't appear that they've done that.
Guy with a torch. That's all you need. That's what they've done to most of it.
They've been using like those 14-inch diamond and just going straight across.
Yeah, I guess saw or torch is what they've been doing, and they make quick work of all this stuff because they're like, what? There's no point in saving any of it. So
Oh, yeah, I think at the base of the tower you can see where they just went and cut all the drawworks power and stuff. Just yeah, right down in there.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe their focus would probably be on the trench before this because assuming they need to build a completely new one, or if they're or whether they build a new one or modify this one, I guess would be the question. But I mean, if we're looking at how long it took for them to reach the point where they're installing the new one on or the arm on the new tower, like I think this is like probably the lowest priority item on their list. Um, you know, they still have 6 months of work just before they even start to begin excavating down here. So I imagine they have plenty of time to get to this.
there's at least a year and a half until they really need the a new SQD arm on there. But they do need to modify the tower though, like they did at 39A. So
Yeah, because what are they on, about month 20 of Pad B?
yeah, if we take May as the May 24 as the start date for that, because that's when they started the pilings for the tower. Yeah, about month
Yeah.
20, and they're almost done. Almost.
I think they would have been done had the energetic event at Massey's not happened.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
They did some extra modifications to the sticks too, which they're not even. They haven't even finished that yet. Which
Right.
Do we have any questions for Pad A before I move to B?
I think we might, but we definitely have some support to take care of. We just got a $27.88 PayPal from Jop Kuipers. Thanks for all that you do. And we got Joe Coyote Man coming in with a $5 super chat saying, come on, folks, let's pitch in a little. T. Evans NC with a $10 super chat. And James Wilson with another $10 super chat. Go Juice for flights. And we had Andy Alder saying, get Vix on for target practice with a £2 super chat. And then Drew Nar with 5 gifted memberships. We appreciate everything, guys.
I think it's a conspiracy that Fix hasn't won a membership yet.
You'd think, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we got here. Actually, Dean Brillhart has a question specifically for you, Zach. Can you please share an ETA for the release of your next deep dive? They're amazing videos, and I'm starting to Jones for the next one.
I don't like to estimate release dates because if I say a release date, then it'll be twice as long. So that's just my general way of going about things, is not trying to predict those dates. But yeah, I don't know. It's very, very, very long. I have no idea. It's probably approaching, if I had to guess, 2 hours long. So I'll have to split it into two. So yeah, I don't know. I'm getting close to recording right now, and we'll see. I'll probably have some more information soon. That's like my least favorite question is when the next episode is going to drop.
So basically, we'll just say coming soon to a YouTube near you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got
give the $10 response when it's ready.
yeah, for sure. And then we got a $5 super chat from Felix asking, do you think they will use Tower 1 as a catch tower for the ship for the first catch attempt so they don't have to endanger Pad B?
Nope.
it won't be ready. Like,
Yeah, too far away.
just take a look. Even if the first ship catch was in Q3 of this year, look at Tower 1 right now. Like it's.
Yeah, and then one question just jumped in from KP10 Flam. Do you think they will unmount Mechazilla from the tower and turn it by 1/4 so to face southeast instead of northeast?
No. I mean, I think we can pretty much already confirm that the trench is going to go right here. So there's no need to remove the chopsticks because that's the position they need to be in. Yeah, so I don't think we'll see any changes as far as that goes. Then having to install railings on a different side of the tower would be crazy. That would be a lot of work.
Yeah, big time. That clears the queue.
Awesome. Well, I'm assuming next week they will probably have started drilling those piles, assuming they finish up in the tank farm area by that time. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. The progress they've made. Still only have 2 water tanks remaining, and they'll probably strip out all of the foundations for these as well too, because I'm guessing the water farm will probably go around this area. But yeah, lots of really good progress on this, and I guess we'll move over to pad B, where we finally have a full set of doors inside of the launch mount, and I was looking for the best top-down view I could find. I don't think I have. I feel like I'm missing images. I don't think I have like a perfect top-down one, but we can see all of those doors right here. I think they installed the final one. It's either yesterday or the day before, but all 20 doors are now in there, and that looks really crazy. I like that. How these fold back. I don't think they're fully open at the moment, though. It seems like they're. I don't know if that's their max open position or if they're slightly retracted.
Should be because they're driven completely off the plant barn.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought like a few weeks ago, the one that was installed seemed like it was folded back a little bit more, but maybe not.
They've been messing with the linkages, so maybe they hadn't dialed it in yet. Yeah,
Here
top
is an
down.
overhead right here.
I was just about to send you some.
Yeah, this is the one image I seem to be missing. Sorry for that super zoom right there. I can't really do it the same in the browser. But yeah, you can see this from the aerial. This kind of sucks. I hate doing it in the browser because I can't do like a fine zoom. Oh, actually, there we go. Cool. Yeah, that is amazing from that angle.
Those doors are
Looks so good.
fairly close to the vehicle.
Okay, I know it's not me because Indy said it too, but who else sees Sarlacc monster from Star Wars? And if you didn't, you will now.
How many years will it get digested if I fall in?
Forget how long it takes.
10,000.
It's like hundreds of years or something, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look it back up again. But yeah.
I mean, as far as we know, this is like one of the last major things they needed to do with the launch mount. I'm sure there's probably some smaller items, probably more so in the bunker, but it'd be nice to see the scaffolding disappear after this. Once these are, I mean, I'm guessing they are fully installed at this point. There's probably some more hardware that they need to add, but it'd be nice to start to see some of the scaffolding disappear and get a actual test of the deluge system on top of the launch deck. That would be really cool to see soon. I've been like waiting for that, hoping that it happens within the next few weeks. Specifically for the purpose of this episode. Sucks not having that footage. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that all of this is going to be fully ready to go by the time Booster ever gets here is pretty crazy because, you know, they were, I feel like, only halfway done with the actual launch mount when they started testing Booster 4. So it's just a completely different ball game here, which is really nice to see. Interestingly, they do have this trench that they've been digging over here, which I think we've kind of got an idea of what's going on. Alex, what was your thoughts on this one?
It should be a LOX vent for when they're doing the chill down. They have the line and the same double inside of the concrete pipe like they did previously to insulate it, so they don't have to chill down this line while they're in the groundwater in the ground before they. So yeah.
Right. So just insulation over the basically pipe inside of a pipe, just to for. But I mean, why would that matter though?
It's just more to protect the soil in the pipe so that they're not getting the freeze thaw.
No freeze heave if there's any moisture in the ground.
And,
is it just me? Or are they building a tiny, very long, rectangular LOX pond?
That's
exactly that pipe ducks under the wall there and right into that what looks like it's going to be a LOX pond.
I love it.
It's itty bitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be. I mean, I guess that's really kind of all you need, though.
True.
But with how much pressure that it comes out at, like I imagine it would, it would just push everything out. I don't know. I mean, you really only have the liquid flow for a short period of time before they cut that vent, anyways. So it's mostly gas. There's probably like 1 or 2, maybe like, I don't know, 1 to 5 minutes of actual liquid flow coming out of there before they shut it. So it's probably not too bad to have such a small little containment area. But yeah, that is super tiny actually.
But basically, this is our new OLM vent, I guess, for chill down of the system.
Yep.
So chill down because most of it's recaptured. And yeah, this is just to appease the regulators so that they don't have, contaminating
Alex,
the land.
Stop slouching. You're quiet.
Oh, darn it. What about now?
That's better. Go ahead and repeat that.
Oh, it's just to appease the regulators so that they don't get told they polluted the wetlands with LOX, which is.
Yep. I was going to say the same thing. It's probably just like, hey, look, we tried, but since it's not a chemical or something that's going to absolutely, decimate the area of any possible life for 20 years from now, that, hey, we tried. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll know, we're kind of have a relative idea when they start to chill down for that, because then we'll see vapors coming up from that little pond, but, not the nice, wide open and easy to see OLM vent from before.
Except for the ship.
The tower vent's going to be hilarious.
Cannot wait. Well, we'll have the tower vent, and we'll have the Raptor chill down vent. Yeah.
I love it. I'll call it the Trident vent now. Not the Tri-vent, the Trident vent, because why not?
Yeah.
I believe Marvin will be at the SU plant or servicing Pad A, because there's still quite a bit of work to be done with extension. When it rolled out, there was maybe a third of the lines weren't hooked up. And they still need to install all the balls to the clamps. They're still sitting at Sanchez. I think that's the only thing at Sanchez that we didn't briefly mention.
Oh, sorry. I accidentally had myself on mute there. Right. I was going to say I did notice that they installed the doors down here this week,
Yeah.
on both sides, at the bottom of the stairs. It looks like they're still doing some work at the bottom of the trench. Not really sure what's going on there.
Those things they were welding last week, it looks like they're going to be between the end of the pipes and that little gap. Looks like
So
they're finally
fixing
going
that
to
lip?
fill. Yeah.
Basically
They're,
doing all the odds and ends. Putting in doors,
Right.
fixing lips here and there. Like they got to cover the sump pump there too with something.
I'm disappointed. I had a lot of things to say about the doors finally showing up and all the haters who said
that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of needed doors, something to protect inside there.
Well,
Yeah, the
and
other
for-
doors are gone as well too. They had 4 in total, and I think the other ones are gone as well too. So there's 2 additional doors somewhere inside the bunker. Most of the components out here, I think, are gone as far as the things we were waiting to be installed. There are some random frame pieces that we assumed were part of those doorways, which are still down here apparently.
and
As well
some
as
of
the
the
ones that we thought were going to go on the QD hoods.
Yeah.
they still might.
There's still a door down here.
Yeah. Some of the squares that they were prepping are in that dumpster, right in the yellowish one by the orange. Yeah, I think Jake was pointing those out last week.
For what?
There's some squares that they were cutting that we assumed were going to be something to do with the doors, the clamp doors, but now they're in the recycling. So, SpaceX, man.
Yeah, I think I must have missed that one.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, beyond that, I think they're still working on the chopstick extensions or whatever the framings that they're adding onto here. So they did obviously do these 2 members on each side, and then they added the bumpers onto here, which you can see just on the ends right here. So these are not on the actual landing rail. These are basically static, so they won't move with the landing rail. And I think the push rods right here, right? So was that the push rods part of that assembly, or were they?
No.
Did they remove those? Okay.
Yeah, I think these are mainly to protect the push rods and keep the ship or booster from peeling
Whacking
itself
into the
open.
frame.
Yeah.
Like a guide, like their bumper guides is basically all they are.
Yeah. Is it? Ship
Looks pretty cool though.
It does.
It's a really nice refined system. After everything they learned from Pad 1, these sticks look really they look really nice. Just need the accumulators back on the carriage, because that bank hasn't been reassembled and installed yet, so still missing that.
Right, and as we mentioned earlier, they do have this. Okay, let's see if this will let me zoom. The extension onto here, spinning wheel of death. Wow. Never use the internet browser for zooming on things. Like it's not zooming on what I'm pointing at. That makes no sense. Okay. Yeah, so you can see this arm now. Man, this thing looks great. They still have to attach the hoses between the pipes down here. But yeah, I mean, that seems like it's one of the only things as far as joining these 2 together that still has to be done. I don't think they've done I'm not sure if they finished the hoses going into the tower yet.
No.
No, last time the main supply lines are hooked in, and I think the methane return is, but like all the pre-press, high pressure, all that other stuff still isn't hooked up yet. I do love how it's very easy access to walk inside the arm, walk through the extension, and then you just walk up the stairs and you have full access to all the high pressure, all the electrical boxes. You have access to all the hoses. The hoses are much shorter this time around. They don't like go from the extension into the arm. They're just into the extension, and that's it. It's so much cleaner and so much better in every possible way.
And coming full circle, on the left, the green lines are orange on this one. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, you're brave.
Okay. Yeah. So you're saying all the lines that were green on the static fire stand are orange on here?
Yeah, because you can
I
see
thought those
the
were just
silver.
like the stainless steel ones are for gas, and I thought the orange ones were like data and whatnot, like electrical connectors.
Perhaps, but it's the same. There's 4 of these, I believe, if I remember right.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Look how nice and clean all those high pressure lines are. It's so nice. I love it.
For now.
Yeah. Give it a couple launches and we'll see what happens. I'm going to admire it while I can, Alex.
I don't fault you for that.
Yeah, elsewhere in the water farm, some weird things going on. They do have more rebar cages over here, which I'm not sure if those are just temporarily being stored here for being moved over to those other locations. But they seem to be doing something in here. I don't know if it's like a fire suppression system going somewhere. Let me see if I can get a better angle where I was noticing this before. Yeah, they have a bunch of little pipes down here, which are very interesting. I think they're maybe adding like fire suppression nozzles somewhere, which doesn't necessarily make sense in the water farm. It does make sense actually over here now that I think about it.
I was about to say they might do it right at the gas gens.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
They did the exact same thing on the new methane stuff at Massey's. I was actually looking for the outlets, but I couldn't find them yet.
Yeah, and they seem to be preparing for other things as well too. I'm not really sure what, but they have a lot of pipes just chilling down here. So I don't think they're fully finished down here, but they're, I mean, very close. You can see all of the water pipes have been painted now. I wonder how long this will continue to look as good as it does, but it'll be nice while it lasts.
I think some of the pipes are putting in because there's, from the opposite angle, you can see one poking out by the 5 large tanks. They might finally be hooking up the mystery Firex pipe that wasn't connected.
Oh, gotcha.
And actually, now that I think of it, one of the pipes on the ground there where they're staging is substantially large. Yeah, you can see it poking out right. But here, yeah, I'm jumping all over the place. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so I'm thinking some of these might be related to that. And the other large pipe, as just squirreled with is probably for it's top on the black pallet. It looks sort of almost like right there on the far left.
You sound far away right now.
I think my hand might be covering the mic. I'm not sure because I'm sitting in the same place. Yeah, the upper left, it looks like a filter, a basket strainer.
These?
No, far left on a pallet. Yeah, right there. Here. And the other at top of frame, there's another large diameter pipe that's just to the right. That one, I think so. They're gonna finally hook up that blue pipe that was headed all the way out to the retention pond.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, so they can filter that when
Yeah.
it comes back in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you pointed out last week, it's show and tell. The Legionnaires popping is ongoing.
Yeah, it's amazing to see this finally all come together. I mean, it seems like they're mostly done with a lot of this stuff. Obviously, still one major thing that they're waiting on, it would be the water supply coming from Brownsville. Then they'll probably add a bunch of stuff down into the corner over here. But I feel like it seems like they're very, very close to being ready for testing, and will definitely be ready by the time Booster 19 rolls out here for sure. Was there anything else on the Pad B side that we missed?
The wall.
Tank farm. They took a methane pump motor off tank on one of the booster side tank farm. Don't know why, but they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been on and off with these for a while now. Difficult to kind of know what's going on over there. Do we have any questions from the chat?
We actually do not.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there's been a little bit of a slow start to the year as far as having a bunch of new stuff to talk about, but they are rapidly approaching the point where they're finishing up all of this stuff on Pad B, so that was to be expected. But yeah, tons of exciting stuff all the same. I'm really hoping that we finally get to see that all that scaffolding cleared and actually do the test of that deluge system soon. But with all of this stuff down here, I imagine they may not want to do that yet. So we'll probably at least see some signs of it before it happens, clearing away some of these some of the trailers and all this stuff down here at the bottom. So hopefully we'll get some like a little bit of heads up before it happens. But yeah, it's really amazing. I'm loving the way this is coming together. And do you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
Nah, just at the top of frame where they're building it, seemingly a very high wall.
Maybe the Marsians coming back.
Yes.
I did see one question just coming from the chat. Can you show on the Sanchez site below the round objects that were discussed, are they prepared support structures for the construction of an orbital table for Pad 1? The stuff for the construction area for that has been down here. Hasn't really changed since they moved it.
That is a question I actually answered in chat earlier. Okay. And I know Ryan, I even asked him, I believe it was during show and tell, what the timeline might be. And the current speculation is like at least 6 months before they even start on a new one.
They have 2 other mounts they got to build too. And I think those are going to take far more priority than this one. You have 25 launches a year you can do out of Starbase, and you're going to have a pad that should be able to do that with no issue whatsoever. You now have approval to do, what is it? I forget how many of them. It's like 70.
2 or 4.
It's a lot out of Slick 37, and they don't have any pads. They're going to want pads there sooner than you ever want a second pad at Starbase now. The paperwork's done. You just got to build it now. So that's a much higher priority to build. I would assume that this mount here won't get started until those other 2 are done. Because
I disagree. I strongly disagree with that. I don't think what's happening at another facility affects what's happening at this one. It more comes down to the fabrication shop if they have time to or if they're doing all of it in one location, or if they're subcontracting it out to multiple fabricators. I think that with the fact that they already have the piles ready for them to do the CFA piles for the foundation, I think they're trying to move.
Yeah, I mean, personally,
3 months,
if
maybe.
it was me, I would start it pretty soon and just get it going, but
Yeah,
that's me.
definitely.
Yeah, I think the only holdup would be any running changes between after. But Slick 37, they've probably just started drilling for the towers piles. Last week they were tying the cages and the drill rig was set up, and they're rebuilding the 13K for stacking. So
Oh, that one already moved to 37?
oh yeah,
Nice.
it's being put back together there too.
Yeah, they're
Quick workout
pushing
there.
ahead. They're pushing ahead with I hopefully we could see I'm hoping to see a fully stacked tower at 37 by a Q3 this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. We just gotta wait for the speed course to show up because most of the sections are built. They just gotta get the internals done.
Yeah, and with the size of that construction area at 37, I have a feeling there'll be multiple drill rigs. And
Oh, they're gonna be drilling all the live long day there.
yeah, it'll be probably half the time as it took for here, if not faster.
Agreed. Matt, did we cover all that? Was that the last of the questions?
That was it.
Awesome. Well, you guys, we do have the other show on Tuesday. So make sure y'all come to that as well too. We'll probably be touching on a lot of the stuff that we didn't have time to get to today, especially all the other sites that we didn't even touch on at all. So make sure to be here for that. In the meantime, everybody, hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I myself am probably going to watch some playoff football, more than likely. But yeah, thanks you all for joining us once again. Thanks to everybody who donated, especially the gifted memberships and whatnot. If you received one of those, make sure to download this week's flyover images, since you will now have access to all of those if you want to go through them yourself. So tons to see if you are looking through those on your own, and you can look closer on things that we maybe didn't do today. So yeah, make sure to check those out. Beyond that, thank you to Alex, Todd, and Ryan for hopping in, and Matt for handling all the questions and donations. And of course, Mauricio, as always, for getting up there to get these amazing flyover images, and all of the mods and everybody in the back channels for helping us out. With that said, I will go ahead and pass this off to whoever picks it up next.
Thank you. Glad to be here. It was a fun show. And yeah, visit the Tuesday. And talk to you soon. Bye.
I'll add one more thing to what Zach was saying about if you did get a gifted membership, make sure you link it with your Discord and join us Tuesday and put in your own 2 cents. And same with the show and tells. Feel free to speak out. We love it when other people are talking and have ideas. So get those links so you can join us. And everyone, you have a great weekend. Thanks for having me. We'll talk to you all later.
It's always fun just to pop in and say hi.
And just another real quick reminder about the Tuesday show. For those that don't know, it is called Starbase Expanded, where we go a little bit more in-depth on some of the external sites and all of the stuff that we've gleaned and learned since this show on the weekend. So it's a real fun show, real laid back. You're all welcome. It's open to the public, so you can come and watch and ask all the questions you want. But Discord members and Patreon members, you all get to participate as part of the show. Same with the show and tell and the flyover stream, which coincidentally we are looking for a specific title to rename the flyover stream. So if you guys got some ideas, feel free to throw them in the comments. And with that, we will see you guys on Tuesday. Most engines cut off, hot staging confirmed. Love you, bye.